Good morning, cherubs.
Good morning, Heather.
Hello and welcome back to the Cherub Chats podcast. I'm your host, Guardian Angel and Big Sis, Heather Michelle. Today we're going to be doing a dedicated episode on Ask Your Angels, which is a segment that I do on the podcast. I gather questions from the Cherub Chats podcast Instagram. You guys submit your dilemmas, your questions, and not only do I give you advice on this podcast, but I also then ask the fellow cherubs for their advice for you. And all of this usually is from personal experience and just my big sis thoughts. And I think I'm going to be doing these every other podcast. You guys let me know how you feel about this. If you would rather them be at the end of every episode, or if you like the fact that they're probably easier to find when it's a dedicated episode. As always, I want to make things as helpful for you as possible because regardless, I love to yap and I'm going to get to yap. We had some really juicy questions this week, from infidelity to best friends hating each other, cutting off a parent, how to be a bitch, and how to deal with being accused of being an attention whore. So let's get into it. Question number 1. Long story short, my boyfriend cheated, I took him back, and I really believe it's going to work out. What are some boundaries and restrictions I should or need to set? Before moving forward, I would just say, like, if your daughter in the future came up to you and said, my boyfriend cheated, what should I do? What would you want your daughter to do, right? Like, typically we love our friends and our family enough to be like, you deserve more than that. Like, you should not stand for that. He already doesn't respect you, perhaps. I'm sure there's nuance and complications, but at the bottom line, at the end of the day, it pretty much is just that. But you asked for boundaries, so I'm going to give you some tips, I guess. Basically, you can give a cheater 100 rules and they're going to break 101 rules. Because if they already want to cheat, they're going to cheat. They already broke the first rule, which was like, hey, we're in a relationship, you and me, just 2 people. And if they go outside of that and they go find a third plus, it's like, okay, they already broke a rule. They already showed you that they can't follow rules. So honestly, I feel like putting boundaries kind of feels a little silly. I want to be so fucking for real with you and so honest. That's just how I feel about it. I think that once someone cheats and you set up boundaries, it's like, do you even trust them enough to respect those boundaries? I don't know. It's very hard. How do you rebuild trust? It's like, okay, well, you can't do anything shiesty. And it's like, how do I know you're doing anything shiesty? You know, like, that's basically the absence of evidence. I don't know. Girl, I'm so sorry. Personally, I just wouldn't even bother with the boundaries. But there are just certain boundaries in a relationship that I believe that are like bottom line before you even cheated, or God forbid you cheat, before we even enter anything serious. These are the boundaries, like no texting with women who you don't need to work with or you don't know already in relation to your friends or family or whatever. Like, me personally, yeah, like I said, I don't really think that men should have a ton of women friends, and I don't think women should have a ton of male friends. Me personally, I don't have a lot in common with the average male. And I know for damn sure my husband doesn't have a lot in common with the average woman. So I just think right then and there, cut it off. Obviously, you're going to talk to coworkers, right? And I think that's fine and respectable. When you take that outside of the working space, when you start messaging or texting or sending each other like memes or whatever, that's when it gets icky. And I think above all else, cut the man off. Like, that's the big boundary. Like, boundary is between you and the cheater. Sorry, girl, I love you, but like, I promise you will find someone else who doesn't cheat and who you don't have to set boundaries to not cheat. Like, that's the boundary. Just don't cheat, you know? Okay. Sorry, I've already been yapping for so long. The first cherub said, trust your gut. If you think he's doing it again, he probably is, speaking from experience. Yikes. I think what she's maybe alluding to is like, if you feel the need to set boundaries so that he doesn't cheat, maybe he's cheating. Practice honesty and openness. Also patience with each other, because you're going to be healing and it will take time, and he needs to be patient while you do that. Don't bring up the past. It will only separate you both. Let him try to be better, but first sign he's not, you need to get out, or you will get stuck in the cycle. Trust your gut. Another cherub said, trust your gut. Don't let him make you feel crazy. His priorities should be to gain your trust back. I would even say, like, let him offer up ways that he should be making himself more respectable or respectful to you, and leaving it up to his hands. Like, how are you going to make it up to me? Why do I have to give you the ideas? Like, this is your mistake and now you need to fix it. I don't want to be your mother or your coach coming up with a game plan for you to win me back. How about you figure that out on your own? You figured out how to cheat on your own. Figure that one on your own, bitch. Sorry. I literally, like, I'm very lucky that I found a great man. However, I do hate men. Like, I do hate men. If my husband cheated on me, I'd spin the block real quick. Like, no. Girl, don't take him back. They don't change. I wasted 7 years of my life. Just don't. 7 years is a long time to fuck around and find out. That's a long time. That's your youth. That's the difference between 20s and 30s. That's the difference between high school and post-grad. That's the difference between everyone's looking for a husband right now to everyone's wifed up. I would think about that one. Once a cheater, always a cheater. And do you really want to be in a relationship where you constantly have to be checking? That's a question for you, but me personally, no. So I hope this helps, friend. Let us know how it goes. Give us an update. We are cheering you on. We are here to be supportive, but we're also here to be very, very real with you. Okay. Next question. I have 2 best friends that do not like each other at all, but I've been BFFs for 10 plus years. They don't like each other because one was cheated on in the past and one of them was the other woman before. So not personal, but it kind of is. I don't know how to have Valentine's Day if my best friends don't like each other. They don't get catty to each other, but they tell me. Ooh, that is hard. I don't have that experience. However, one of my friends does, where she's friends with somebody who I cut off and she's still friends with me, and she tells me that the other girl like still asks about me and like kind of talks, which is fine. They're allowed to do whatever they want, but I'm so sorry that you're in this position. I would say just keep them in 2 separate worlds, and that's completely okay. There's no need for you to bring them together if they don't want to come together. However, if they are both mature enough to be a part of a gathering together, let them figure it out. Like, if they love you enough and if they're, grown enough, they'll figure it out. There's no need for women to be acting like children and like, no, but she's here. Da, da, da. Like, I think about this sometimes when and if my friend gets married and invites me and invites the other person, I'm not going to throw a fit, and I'm not going to tell my friend to not invite her because we've both been a part of her life for a really long time. But I'm just going to stick to my table. She's going to stick to hers. And like, I'm sure and I hope that we'll both be very respectful and not catty. And also, we're both adult enough to not, well, me personally, I'm adult enough to not like run to my friend and be like, did you see what she did? Because that's stressful on her. And like, I'm considerate of her weight that she has to bear from already the stress of like juggling 2 friendships. So if it's really that big of a deal, I would have a conversation with both of them, maybe separately or maybe in a group chat, whatever. Be like, hey, I'm hosting this thing. You're both invited. You're both welcome to come. However, I would like this to be treated civilly. And I also don't want to be hearing about any drama. So if you can go, have fun and keep to yourself without complaining and bitching to me, come. If you don't think that you're capable of that, then don't. And again, don't complain to me about it. Giving them that option to rise to the occasion hopefully will motivate them to be adults. However, obviously everyone's different and you cannot force anyone to take any situation in a particular way. But I think communication's always top of the list, top of the tier. Letting them know that you don't want the stress of hearing both sides or hearing them be catty or passive aggressive to each other afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole debrief. Sometimes it could be fun, but it could be stressful when you're in the middle of the two debriefs, you know? Okay, one cherub said, have plans separately. Don't force them together. Galentines with small groups are just as cute. That is also a great idea, to do two separate activities. I think what gets tricky is then someone leaves feeling left out, where like, okay, maybe a majority of your friends are hanging out with girl A, and then girl B, it's just a one-on-one like painting situation or whatever Galentine's Day activity. And as a girl that is constantly having FOMO, I don't know. If I was presented with the two options, like either you can come and be civil or we could do something alone, I'd be like, well, I don't want to be left out, so I'm going to be civil. Like, I'm going to act right so that I can earn my way into this little Galentine's Day thing. I hope it goes well. I hope you set your boundaries, and happy Galentine's Day. Advice for cutting off a parent. I know you've talked about it in the past, but I'm in the midst of it right now. That is very tough. It definitely was one of the hardest times of my life. And honestly, during it, kind of felt liberating. I felt a little like anxiety, a little panic, because family up until this point is all you've known, right? You've only known their support, regardless of how good or bad it was. Like, all you've known is their support. And that was always like your fallback, right? Although it can be really scary, it can also be really liberating to let go of that. Basically, my advice is to do it cold turkey. When you leave a little room for leash, take it from me, because I tried to give my mom a little bit of room. I tried to still keep a little bit of a relationship there, even though it was at a distance. She took an inch and tried to take 10 miles and overstepped her boundaries and started like falling back into the patterns of just speaking negatively to me. And I didn't need any more proof. I knew that she hadn't changed and that she wasn't going to change, and that my life, including her, was always going to be stressful about hearing shit all the time. I had my mom, I remember the day before I left to move to Texas, I had my mom crying and sobbing. She's like, it took me up until today to realize how much I hurt you, and I'm so sorry. It took her 23 years to realize that she hurt me, and not until she was literally watching me leave did she say sorry for everything she's done. And she cried and she showed real emotion and real pain and real regret. Yet she went back to her old habits. And if you can witness someone so sincere in one moment and then go back in the other, I just don't think it's worth to even like dance around or like ease into the cutoff. I say do it cold turkey. Surround yourself with amazing friends and chosen family. That's really what friends become once you're in this stage. I was lucky enough to have a husband, so I already had a family in him and in our dog at the time, and obviously my in-laws and such. But when you're missing out on one, you're opening up doors for a lot more, because from my experience, my mom definitely put like a little bit of a rift between me and some friendships. Like, I know she would be like, no, you can't go out, you can't go with this person, or no, you can't go to this place, like, I'm gonna show them this, I'm gonna show them that, like, I'm gonna out you for literally being messy. Like, okay, my office is messy right now, beach, go ahead. Anyways, think about like how difficult your parents or whoever is making your life, and the release of tension once you cut them off cold turkey is going to be so amazing. Yes, you're going to go through hard times from coping and healing and rewiring, but ultimately your life is going to be changed for the best from now on. So take it with open arms. I would say cut it off. And personally, like, I literally cut off and block anybody who knew my mom and who I know would probably talk about my life to my mom. I don't want those eyes on me. I don't want any of her energy in my world. So I literally blocked my mom, blocked everyone related to her, any friends, any family, any friends of family or whatever, like literally gone overnight like that. Yeah. And I really don't regret it. And I think about it to this day, like now that I'm thinking maybe I do want a kid, I think about, no, I made the right decision by cutting my mom off, because I would not want my mom in my kid's life, because I would not be able to stand watching my mom treat my child the way that I was treated or the way that I was talked to. And yes, there were good moments, but the bad ones stick around a lot longer than the good ones. So when you think about the future of your life, is it going to be better without them? Probably. So make that decision, make it with confidence. I support you. Feel free to DM me, to rant. I'm always here. I'm always here to listen. Like I say, you're never alone when you're a part of the Cherub Club. Like, we are all in this together. We're your support, and you can consider me your family. I know we're probably never going to meet because a lot of us are so like widespread throughout the US and this world, but just know I'm here for you, and that I think you are very admirable for cutting someone off, and I love you. So hang in there. It's going to get better. Okay. The cherub said, it's a hard decision, but boundaries are so important. And if it feels right, do it. Don't let other people influence your decision because they think it's right. Personally, had to do this with my father, so speaking from experience. At face value, it's sad. It can get hard if I let it get to me, but I'm so true to myself. Speaking your piece and let go. I love that. Definitely the difficulties of it come up all the time. And sometimes I don't even appreciate like where I'm at because of what I let go. But in reality, my whole life is a result of cutting my mom off, you know? I don't think I would be where I'm at today if I didn't cut my mom off. And my life is literally a whole different universe, like alternate universe. I never saw this for myself. And I think it's because I let go of my mom in a way. And yes, I cry at weddings when I see parents dancing together, or I sometimes get bitter when I see like parents and kids at the park enjoying and laughing. But ultimately, those little moments are just little moments, and they come and they go and they pass. But my life that is safe, that is happy, that is secure, is forever, and it's a lot longer than just those singular moments. So think about that. Okay, the next cherub said, I did it. Remember why you did it. Experience how you feel without their connection. Do it for you, not for what others think. Don't feel guilty for putting yourself first. Sending love. That's really sweet. And yeah, don't feel guilty. Sometimes I do feel guilt because I know my mom is getting up there in age, and I'm thinking about like, oh my gosh, who's going to support her? Who's going to take care of her? Who's going to pay for her bills? Because I know she never planned for, you know, later life. And it worries me sometimes, but I also think about that's not my concern. That's not my responsibility. She is reaping what she sowed. So yeah, don't feel guilty. If they don't feel guilty for what they did to you, you don't need to feel guilty for doing what's best for you. I am so nice as a person, and that sometimes does me no good. Wait, why am I reading like that? So dramatic. So like Y2K, Lizzie McGuire narration. I am so nice as a person, and that sometimes... No, I did it again. Okay. I'm so nice as a person, and that sometimes does me no good. I want to try to balance my life out by being a bitch when I'm done wrong, but every time I get done wrong, I don't know how to act. I just freeze all of a sudden, and I'm speechless. Like, how can I be a bitch when I don't know how to? You know, sometimes I think I could up the ante with being a bitch too. And I mean, I forget, but one of the things that I would do is honestly look up like really good comebacks on TikTok while we still have TikTok, Or yeah, damn, you can't even look that type of stuff up on Instagram. Wait, hold on, my husband's calling. Hello. Hi, babe. I'm filming. What's up? Yeah, unfortunately, you can't even look up like good burns or comebacks on Instagram. It's such a annoying place to search. I think they even have a book called like How to Piss a Man Off, and obviously maybe you're not always being a bitch to a man, but I'm sure those are pretty good for everyone. Hold on, let me look it up. Yes, oh my gosh. How to Piss Men Off, 109 Things to Say to Shatter the Male Ego. Quote, no. This one's classic, total banger. It's been putting numbers on the board. Oh, so it's like Cole's Cash. Say this when a man tries to explain crypto to you. Anyways, obviously these aren't always going to be like the most bitchy, like, ooh, slay queen, that one hit. But I would do like your research on the books. Also, this is kind of funny because I feel like nothing is more bitchy than a good Y2K rom-com or even like Y2K Disney Channel shows. Like literally study the art that is being a hot mean girl. No, but on a real note, people will call you bitchy for just having boundaries, knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want, and doing what works best for you. People don't like it when you stand up for yourself. People don't like it when you don't fold easily to their desires or plans, and when you don't let them manipulate you. So it doesn't have to be like the most iconic, like sassy zinger. You could just be like, no. You could just say, I don't agree with that. You could just say, what do you mean by that? Or what was your intention with that? There's so many ways that you can just stay strong in your wants and your beliefs, and you don't have to dumb it down. You don't have to play silly and like, because I think that's also a little bit of a defense mechanism when you're like, okay, I don't want someone to dislike me, but I still want to stand my ground, so I'm gonna be like this caricature of a Y2K villain. You could just mean it how you say it and take a moment. It's okay to not say something immediately after. Just pause, think through your thoughts, and then respond. Or honestly, silence sometimes gets people. Silence, like, people hate silence. I know I hate silence. And if someone said something so rude to you and you just stare at them, make good eye contact, give like a good 10 seconds of silence, they'll let it click. Like, oh shit, I'm sorry. You know, sometimes silence can work for your benefit, but also if not, let that silence kind of marinate your thoughts and then say something. It doesn't have to be rude. I mean, you could say it however you want to say it, but as long as you stand up for yourself and what you want and what you believe, and don't let people walk all over you, don't let people take advantage of you. But I would definitely like practice in the mirror, practice in the shower, practice when you're in the car alone, like practice standing up for yourself and practice being a bitch. But yeah, I think a fun approach would be like to study up on what makes these characters in the Y2K shows and movies like a bitchy character. Well, good luck, babes. 2025, may 2025 be the year that you stand up for yourself more. Set boundaries to begin with so people know you don't play. I love that because when you set boundaries, you're setting boundaries ahead of a whole situation, like maybe when you first meet someone or before you even have an issue. That way, when the issue arises, they already know that they're crossing your boundary and that you address this, and that's part of what will take you away from a situation. Don't be a bitch. It's not who you are. And if someone does you wrong, get up and walk away. Like Selena says, kill them with kindness. Love yourself enough to be brave to walk away. Being a bitch just brings you down to their level, and it can create a cycle of back and forth. LOL. Me, study it, learn it, become it. That's also a valid response. Like if it's not coming naturally from you, maybe that's just not who you are. However, me personally, I think there's a bad bitch inside of all of us, and I really encourage every single woman to bring out that fierceness that we think will bring a lot of hate to us, and it'll actually empower us. Facts. Because when No, because every time that I feel like, oh, I'm so weak, I think about every time I chewed someone's asshole out and gave it to them on a silver platter. I become proud of myself again. I'm like, damn, I really did that, huh? Like, I really ate with that response. And then my self-esteem gets back. Maybe that's toxic. Maybe I'm not as amazing as I think I am. Okay. Next question. Lately, my fiance has been hinting at me and saying comments like, you're only posting for attention, you only want attention. And it kind of bugs me because honestly, I'm just taking cute pictures. They might slightly be thirst traps, but I'm cute, so why not? Leave the man. It sounds like he's a little bit insecure. Okay, I know he's your fiance, and I am so quick to cut things and people off. It's actually a problem, but he sounds a little insecure. Why is he not hyping you up? Why is he not so excited and happy? One, for you, that you feel so confident and so beautiful enough to share it on social media. And two, happy for himself that he has such a freaking dime on his arm. Like, dang, he really hit the lottery with you. What do you mean? He thinks you're doing too much or you're doing it for attention. No shit, I didn't post it for one like, bitch. I know I look good and I want to show it off to my friends. Like, duh. When boys get a car, or when boys get like a new fishing rod, I don't know what boys fucking care about. When boys get whatever they freaking, I don't know, what do boys like? Wait, hold on. When boys get a new video game, you're not going to bring it around your friends so your friends are like, that's stupid. No, you know they're going to like it and they're going to hype you up. No shit. Obviously, babe. Like, first off, I looked at this girl's Instagram. It is very cute, very tasteful. She's very pretty. There's nothing to be alarmed by. No hate, no tea, no shade on the OnlyFans girls, but it's not like she's giving out OnlyFans content for free on this Instagram page, okay? It's giving a normal woman with a normal Instagram feed. That's cute and she knows it. He sounds like a hater, low key, and that needs to be a conversation like, do you lack confidence? Why is me posting a picture such a threat to you? And why is that causing you to like raise your eyebrow at me? I'm just being cute. You should be proud that I'm cute. I think there's a deeper problem here. Maybe he's a little jealous. And maybe you guys can have a serious discussion about that. But at its base, like, you posting a picture is making him like, oh, you're doing too much. No, babe. I'm literally snapping a picture on my phone that is free. And then I'm posting it to Instagram that's free. And I'm sharing it to my friends and family that's free. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand men sometimes. Because it's like, they date you at your fucking hottest. They literally will not swipe right unless you're an absolute 11 out of 10, 6-pack, lifted booty, hair done, makeup done, cute fits. And then they get you and you continue to be that person. They're like, you're doing it for attention. That's what you signed up for. Literally, he signed up for a baddie. And like, did he not know that? I don't know. I'm confused. Boys are dumb. I'm sorry. This is probably not healthy and very toxic advice, but I would literally belittle him like, are you dumb? Like, hello, you signed up for a baddie. Ugh. Boys are stupid. I'm sorry. No offense to your fiance. This is literally no offense to your fiance. I just think that all men are dumb. It's not discrimination because I think that about all men. Men are dumb. Men are stupid. What do you mean you sign up for a baddie and then you're upset that you're wifing her up and then she's still a baddie? Huh? I don't know. Here's what the girls said. Dig deep into why he thinks it. Could this be his own insecurities or worried to lose you? Chat it out. I concur. Girl, he gotta go. His own insecurities are showing a little too much. No, because I said that. Like, he sounds insecure. Babe, get your bag up. Get your fitness up. Get your outfits up. Get your Instagram up. If he's your fiance, I would take his feelings into consideration. Maybe sit down and talk about how you both feel. Find a middle ground. You can post more modestly so you can be cute online plus respect his feelings. Okay, I do understand, like, maybe a modesty aspect. Like, if you're posting in your underwear, but at the same time, like if you feel comfortable, if you feel like that's appropriate to post online, I feel like it's your body, your Instagram, your choice. However, you are in a relationship, and I can totally understand like sometimes things like that maybe could lead to like unwanted attention. But honestly, I looked at your Instagram and you're not giving that at all. You're giving very much like cute pics with the girls, with yourself, with your fits, with your makeup. Like, I don't think it's that type of thing. I honestly think it's stemming from insecurity. So I say have a conversation, stand your ground, and also see what's up with his insecurities. What's going on deep down inside. It could be that he's maybe scared to lose you because you're maybe out of his league. I don't know. I didn't see a picture of him, but maybe that's what it is, and just reassure him. But yeah, like maybe then you won't care. You knew I was a baddie when you met me. Simple. LOL. I agree. We're always on the same wavelength, I swear. Every episode, every time I answer the Cherub Chats questions, I'm like, no, we're literally all on the same page. And then I did get another message from a cherub after I posted the questions, and so I couldn't put it on the Ask Your Angels to get responses from other cherubs, but here it is. Currently in a dilemma. I started talking to this guy at the end of November and have been talking this entire time. All going good, but he told me if I knew this one guy, which happened to be his coworker and someone I hooked up with in the past, 10 years ago. I honestly forgot. It's been so long, but he asked about it again and I remembered now, but I couldn't tell him because I'm a little bitch. So I'm assuming she chickened out and didn't end up telling him the truth. He wants to stop talking altogether. Valid or question? Help, please. Love you, by the way, and thank you in advance for reading this. Oh my gosh, I love you. Okay, girlfriend. Yeah, it sounds like the boys were yapping, the boys were talking, and he knew the truth before you even answered. And he probably asked just to see if you would tell the truth. And unfortunately, it probably was a turn off that you didn't come out in the open to fess up. Think about it from a woman's perspective. If you asked a man that, you'd be like, no, why wouldn't you tell me? Like, why wouldn't you just tell me if it was 10 years ago? So I understand being scared to tell the truth in the moment, or obviously like you forgot the first time he asked you, but I would, even though he wants to stop talking altogether, I would go to him and text him like the reality, like, hey, I forgot it was so long ago, but once you asked again, it like came to my memory, or I remembered, it jogged my memory, and I was just too scared to tell you the truth because I don't want to ruin this. I really like you, blah blah blah. That was so long ago, it literally means nothing to me. It meant so little to me that I literally forgot who he was, blah blah blah. And hopefully he respects that, and he respects that you owned up to it and that you confronted it and like addressed it head on. But you also have to take into consideration, like, maybe he feels a little closer to his coworker than just a coworker. Like, what if they're actually best friends? And I don't know if for guys it's the same thing, but like, imagine having a best friend and finding out that your current boyfriend or the person you're talking to had hooked up with your best friend. I don't know. It is kind of weird, even though it's not like girl code or boy code necessarily, because there's no cheating involved and it's been so long. It's like, it does get you a little tripped up in your head, right? So you have to also allow for his feelings about the whole situation. I don't think it's wrong for you to have hooked up with his coworker and now be talking to him. Obviously, you don't owe either of them anything, but I would just say, like, maybe some people do find it a little off, and maybe they don't want to even like get into that, which sucks because goddamn, like, think about how big cities are and like how many people are your exact age and into the same interests as you. Like, there's only so many people, right? But I would just honestly take it on the chin and be a big girl. Go text him, be so fucking for real, so straight up, and just be like, yeah, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I didn't come out and tell you the truth, I was a little scared, can you forgive me, like, I really want to keep talking to you, whatever. And if he says no, I mean, I want to degrade him a little. I want to be like, it's his fucking loss, he's a bitch boy. But in reality, like, he is entitled to feel about this situation however he wants. Is it valid? I don't think so, but it could be valid in his world and his perspective from his paradigm. And I hate to say it because it's a boy, but he is allowed to feel however he wants. I'm sorry. But I don't think you did anything wrong, but he could think something different. And I don't think it's actually absolutely horrible that he thinks it. Like, he's not being an asshole by thinking that way. I don't know. You just have to really have a good conversation and air it out, and get to the bottom of it. And maybe it does really bother him, and maybe it's really tripping him up. And if that's the case, like, I mean, you can't force him to do anything. In the same way that, like, had the roles been reversed, he can force you to forgive him for, like, hooking up with your best friend 10 years ago. Like, it would still be weird, right? So, I don't know. Maybe just leave it off his friends, and hopefully, like, with time, that weirdness kind of wears off. But I think that's the best you can hope for, bestie. I forgot to mention this in the very beginning, but I am so sorry to any and everyone who has been affected by the fires in California. It is horrible, devastating. It has brought so much, like, corruption to light in terms of, like, insurance and environment and so much. I will leave resources both if you've been affected down below, and resources if you'd like to help and donate down below. It's been very heartbreaking, and as a huge empath, it has been a little difficult for me to just stay selfish during this time, because you see so much pain and hurt and devastation. And, like, yesterday I had a conversation with my husband. I'm like, what's the point? What are we waiting for? Like, what are we taking all this pain for? You know, it's like devastation after devastation. It's like every year there's something. Some community gets hurt in some way. And, like, what are we waiting for? What are we, kind of a little bit of an existential crisis. Then afterwards, I saw a video of, like, all the donations, all the volunteers, all the resources that have been gathered up during this very, really difficult time. And it's so beautiful. Yes, it is devastating. Yes, it is hard. Everyone in that lost everything they had. But how beautiful is it to see that just as dark and twisted as this world gets is the equal amount of light we have in this world. And it doesn't feel like it all the time, but it is so true. Like, if you feel really unmotivated and really questioning life, like, what's the point of life? Like, we just keep seeing devastation after devastation, after tragedy, after pandemic, after this, after that. It's like, it's exhausting. I'm not gonna lie. And, like, wars and discrimination and, like, that coupled up with, like, the deportations in Bakersfield, it's like I was bawling for days. Like, why is this happening? And it sucks and it's tragic, but what's so beautiful about it is that in times like this, in times when you would expect the human race to be all about survival and selfish in our own, like, I have to protect myself, we are all coming together to help these people survive, who we don't know, who we have no relation to, whether they live or die, like, it really will not affect our life directly, but we're still rallying for these people. And it's so beautiful. It's so amazing. And it's, like, restored my faith in humanity. And I think that there's hope, and there always will be. And I hate that it took a fire to see this much good in one concentration. But I'm thankful for those who have given money, time, resources, attention. And yes, I hope everyone is safe. I hope everyone is happy and healthy and has their friends and their family. And I hope that 2025 is not the worst. Basically, I think that's all we can hope for at this point. But don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Oh wait, TikTok's going away. That's so sad. Wow. Thank you guys so much for submitting all your dilemmas. I hope that this advice helped one of you, and I'm sure a lot of you will take something from each dilemma and advice, hopefully. But again, let me know if you guys enjoy these dedicated episodes to the advice, or if you prefer it being at the end of every episode. I appreciate you guys so much. Anyways, I love you guys. Just remember, you are never alone when you're part of the Cherub Club. I will see you in the next podcast. I love you. Bye.